7,000 years ago, there was a great war. Orcs, trolls, gremlins, all competed against each other for ownership of this land. There was many deaths, many battles, but the orcs were victorious. For 700 years they've ruled the land and become a great nation. Now there's a new monster, one that's been stealing their children. They have found their kids killed, and rumors that they've been taken also as slaves. Now the orcs face off against the monster, who call themselves elves. The nation of orcs have risen up, 10,000 strong. They face an army of elves that are 10,000 strong, along with 200 of their priestess archers. They call the elven hunters. Only the elves don't play nice. They're flanking them with another 5,000 elves, and have reinforcements on the hill with another 5,000 elves. They want this land that the orcs have. They vow to kill them all and take it. But the orcs are a great nation. They're very powerful. And they're not going to go quietly. Let's see what happens. Let the battle begin. Fierce are the elves, but the orcs are powerful. Well, the flanking is not in their favor. Here comes the reinforcements. They're not taking any chances. They want the land for themselves. Let's see how they're doing. Oh no. The orcs are suffering a great loss. Being flanked is hard to battle. Plus, with the elven huntress, the archers seem to be taking their toll against the orcs. The elves vow to destroy the nation of orcs. For 700 years they reigned. Oh no. Oh no. They're all but finished. The elves cheer victorious. Then they feel the ground shake, and the sound of thunder. Did I forget to mention? No, I said it. This is the Orc Nation, and they're not giving up without a fight. Here they come. The elves thought they won. Little did they know that the orcs weren't as dumb as they thought. Oh, and remember, I did say nation. The orcs are coming in force. For though the elves fight for glory, the orcs fight for their children and their land. Let's join the battle, shall we? As it stands now. I do believe the elves aren't going to know what hit them. Here they come. The elves are fierce warriors, but I think they underestimate the orcs. For they have ruled this land for 700 years. And they also have archers of their own. Glorious. The elves think they were tricked. They see the orcs coming over the hill. Little do they know there's 2 more factions headed their way. The elves believe their reinforcements will change the tide. Little do they know that their reinforcements are being overwhelmed by the two factions of orcs. The elves are being split up. And they're finding it's not so easy as they thought. For all this time, they've been dealing with the orcs' children's. Little did they know there were full-size versions of them. The orcs all agree. These monsters that call themselves elves seem to be more fierce than the goblins and even the trolls. But they must win. For they fight for their land. The elves are being divided now. They're running every which way. The elves are legendary. They've been in many battles and fought many wars. But they're realizing for the first time, they realize what it is like to fight a nation. Not so easy as they thought. From the orcs' point of view, these are relentless monsters who steal their children. They will not let them win. The orcs vow to be victorious. The battle rages on. The elves are congregating, giving it one last effort. The orcs seem to be finishing up from the stragglers. Oh my. Every time it looks like the elves are getting a foothold, the orcs take it from them. It's not over yet. The orcs are still coming. More orcs coming down from the mountains. I believe these are the last of the elves, the last of the reinforcements. Fighting two fronts now. The elves are giving it one last-ditch effort. They feel strong. But the orcs are continuing to arrive. Oh my. Push, men. Push. ambush. The huntresses. Their arrows are extremely accurate. This is a battle to end all battles. And the battle rages on. The orcs are in a tight spot. They need to get down the hill. Here comes more reinforcements. the last of the elves. This battle is glorious. It ain't so easy when you fight a nation. They just keep coming. The elves are now realizing they made a mistake. The orcs is victorious. They roar with victorious chants. For today they have defended the orc nation. Battle won.